Hey guys, welcome to our review of Kamen Rider Saber episodes 20 and 21. No,
19 and
19 and
20.
20. As always, I'm your host, the Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have.
The Cinder Blaze.
Okay, thanks for that. As always, we're going to be talking about what you guys thought about this episode, but before that, let's dive into what we thought. And we're doing two episodes, but it really feels like they all just sort of blended together. Um, Still the same amount of bad. This show, um, and it's they've made no attempt to sort of fix it.
I mean, I would say it's like the same amount of bad, but like some of it has kind of turned in a comedy. Like I think the outbursts that the villains have, like I used to just like hate it, but now it's kind of like hilarious because they just go so ham on it. Like I remember, like I think maybe episode 20 where the beast guy just starts doing flips and then
Oh
he just
damn it!
tries to infect someone with the book.
I
It's
knew it.
like
I knew you were gonna bring that one up.
I was just like, you know what? Bravo for doing that. Most people just like walk up out of nowhere and just like slam it on, but no, you went through the effort to show off to your audience that you could do a couple backflips and
Yeah.
uh,
Also,
congrats.
for the effects, both of these episodes, it felt like they had a new 3D software. They're like playing around with Unreal Engine, and they got this new physics engine, and they're like, "Oh hell yeah, let's try this out. We're gonna stack some cars. Ooh, we're gonna stack some blocks and then have them implode from the bottom so it looks like it's falling down. Ooh, maybe that effect doesn't look too good. Let's hide it with an explosion." Um, I don't know.
Yeah.
It seemed like for the effects they were playing around a little bit, or at least figuring out a tutorial for their physics engine. Um, but it ultimately ended up to where the king would just be stacking a bunch of shit, and I was like, well, he do what he's doing, and like he's not hurting anybody. It doesn't seem like there are people in these cars. You've made no attempt to tell me that there are people in these cars. So far, it's just been like just you know
Empty parked cars that you just
yeah,
kind of transported,
it's
you know.
not this is not the worst villain. Really, this is going to end up being like an issue for the city and like infrastructure to take care of.
I don't know, man. Like if I just got done with like a long shift of, work and I walk out to the street and my car ain't there, I'm gonna be pretty pissed off, and it's not gonna be a really good time.
You know
And if
what's
that happens to like thousands of people within the same city, oh, that looks like it's gonna be an entire shit show.
you
So
know
I mean,
you know what's even worse than that?
dying, but
Yes.
it is still a massive inconvenience.
No, it
Like this
definitely
dude is
is.
literally building a wall of cars around a castle that he they didn't have the budget to really build. So
Like, I'm not arguing that it's not inconvenient at all. I'm sure this is very inconvenient and probably going to cost hundreds of millions of dollars in terms of like getting cars back to people. I don't know who would have to handle that. Either way, he's pretty benign in terms of a villain.
yeah, he's not really even trying to fight.
Yeah.
Like we had to drag our main villains just to give someone for Sable to kind of like fumble around with,
Yeah.
and like it looks kind of weird because like after he got his like the three books form, it looked like he'd fight on them like on par,
Mhm.
you know. And then he has like other forms like on top of it, like the King Arthur one and his Dragon Knight one, and he's struggling a lot more. And I think like they're just trying to do like a soft reboot for like the power levels, just slightly. They're probably gonna do something with the villains later on, so they don't care about their power level too much.
Mhm.
But they really wanted to sell this whole thing about like, oh, well, Toma's learning how to use a sword finally. Like he actually like sees Slash kind of like deflect something from
Mhm.
is it Psycho?
Yeah.
Or
No, he was Slash was deflecting something back from Toma.
no, it wasn't from Telma. It was from the Sword of Light dude. Because like he kind of like pulled him off to the side and wanted to hear the sword.
Hmm.
Or no, that was probably for Toma, but I'm pretty sure he deflected an attack from
I thought
him.
it was Toma because like Toma learned it after he saw or after because I remember that Psycho was looking on and being like, "Oh wow, that was
Uh
cool."
oh yeah, it was. Never mind. Hey, you got me that time.
um.
But that was just like it was a bit excessive, but he's like, well, clearly I'm like a higher power level, but if he's still able to fight me like that, maybe there's a little bit more for me to grow, and I kind of wish that we saw that a lot earlier. Like, just imagine if he just like learned how to sword fight from like all these guys. Like, they have very, different styles of sword play. So if you kind of like took bits and pieces of all of them, that would have been really nice to see. But I guess we're gonna start here, and
I
like,
guess.
I feel like for this show, we just have to forget about like the first 15 episodes because they really want to just like do a fresh start, and I can kind of let the show have that. So like when they're kind of like dealing with the problems that they have, like yeah, it makes no sense considering what we've had in the first
Hmm.
15 episodes. But if you know that, just stop overthinking that part. I kind of like the development that's kind of like going over here. Like obviously they're very loyal to the sort of logos, but they're kind of like breaking off on their own. They're kind of like thinking, maybe there's something, some truth to what Tom is saying. Because like it I can kind of like understand their logic a little bit better when the one like major trader for the sort of logos like it's been unheard of before. When he starts siding with that guy, then you're just like, hold up, okay, so you really need to be put in check. And I kind of understand that they're like all kind of ganging up on him, maybe because like they don't like think he's like evil, but they really need to like get him away from power because once he gets that, then they're all screwed.
Hmm.
And she's kind of like the southern based leader or lady is kind of like feeding into like all that hype. So I kind of like I'm okay with them kind of like all turning on Toma, but like when we kind of have these little breakaway moments where they're kind of thinking like, okay, like I know this is what everyone's kind of like thinking, but we kind of like know Toma a little bit. Let's just like see what his sword is saying at least, because like for Slash, that is like the loudest answer for him. If he can hear like the sword suffering a mile away. So uh, if he doesn't like hear any reverbs from that, then shit. Maybe there's something there that they could be looking into.
Hmm.
So and we also got like some drops about like the leader for the sort of logos. They like mentioned that being existed. So then they're obviously trying to like build towards like another little plot thing. Hopefully it might just be a thing that they never develop, but uh I actually did like the steps this show was kind of like taking.
See, like I like the pace that we're going at. I don't necessarily like the direction that the story's going, just because like we are having to sacrifice. You said that we have to like get rid of the first 15 or so episodes of this show to enjoy what's going on now, which is a very weak argument. And
I mean, like the show as a whole, but like for my enjoyment of like the episode and just kind of like the series kind of like moving on, I can forget about it a little bit.
but the thing is, they had really solid elements. They had really solid lore elements. They had really solid character beats that they could have hit if they had the right pace. Now that they have the right pace to hit those good elements, we've been launched into this terrible plot that waters down a lot of the good characters that we've had in this show, except for May. May is always great. May's always gonna be great. We've got a new goodish character so far. Everyone seems to like him, Psycho. Um,
Yeah.
but then even in this episode, we had him like wander around, read a comic, just to make sure that the plot doesn't progress too fast.
So I just give us a form, buddy.
Like in early on, they blew through forms like they were nothing. But here, I feel like them developing that is taking a bit too long. Like, we already get it. We've already put those pieces together, and it doesn't take that long to read that book. Especially if the word bubbles are like a sentence long.
I mean, maybe he's just rereading it a bunch of times. We don't know.
Maybe. Or, you know what? Maybe he doesn't understand English, and he's and he's like trying to translate it there and then. Um,
I'm pretty sure as a sword, he can read any language he pleases.
as
Um,
swords do. Um,
yes, the most avid of readers.
you
But
know, hold on. Slash is able to read swords, right? And listen to swords. Psycho is a sword. So he should be able to tell if he's telling the truth and what, like what he's thinking and
well,
how
Psycho
he's
also
feeling in
speaks
relation to Toma.
Japanese, so shouldn't everyone understand what he's saying?
Yes, but like understand the intention, and I feel like that's what Slash should be getting out of Psycho.
I mean, like he obviously just kind of like aimlessly kind of like wandering around. It doesn't really feel like he has any real intentions besides, hey, look, there's a Megid. I'll just like kill it or something.
He's the one that told Toma that, yeah, you're right. There is someone within the sort of logos that we need to get rid of. You are
Yeah, but
correct, and I'm gonna help you with that.
yeah, but it doesn't seem like he has like that much agency, within himself. He's just kind of like tagging along with Toma because like Toma does have a little bit more agency in this plot, thank God. So he's kind of like carrying it around where like he's just you know a sword that now has a human form, and he's just kind of like doing the stuff that we thought that Rentaro was going to be doing at the beginning of the series, just kind of
Mm.
like interacting with modern society and stuff, and him being intrigued and stuff, all that,
See, I told you
all
they
the
had.
B plot stuff that got cut out in like the first 15 episodes. But we're gonna forget about that. Right now, Rentaro is a shit character, and they're just not gonna really repair him
Oh
for
my
the
god.
time being. They're gonna like come up with a random ass form that looks exactly like his base form, and we're just gonna move on with it's like how much bluer and how much can we obscure the details of this suit and still sell it?
Yeah,
It's probably
yeah.
not going to sell, but whatever.
His
Uh,
character is the greatest tragedy of this reset.
yeah. I think that Slash is at least the Knights of Logos is probably doing the best, followed by I don't want to say Kenta, but like I'm just gonna say it because the route that they're grooming him towards, or the path that they're grooming them towards, it's interesting.
Who's Kenta again?
The green guy,
Oh,
right?
Kenzan is the
Kenzan.
rider name. I don't know his actual name. It could be Kenta. I
The names are all kind of blurring together.
sure.
For those of you guys down in the comments, don't comment on that. I'll figure it out at the end of
Do
the
absolutely do not at me.
episode. But because like if we just have him being irrationally angry at what happened, just, whatever, just let him be batshit crazy. I kind of wanted to see his ass get handed to him a bunch of times by the main writers. So
Yeah, I would
if
like to see him get served a bunch of humble pie.
yeah, by Saber and Rentaro
Yeah.
repeatedly, and occasionally when Espada does come back, hopefully by him as well, because that would be hilarious.
Do you
And
really
if he
want that
just
guy to
ends
come back? I just want to see him eat more sand. Outside of that,
exactly, dude, like I want to see like this guy emerge from a fucking desert with like not full sand, and it's kind of like cascading off of him. Like that's what I am expecting for
he's
this
known nothing
series.
but clear skies and full bellies of sand. I don't know why I decided to quote Thanos on that, but but the idea of him having a full belly of sand really tickles me. Um. Also, hey, the dude with the red skull face is back. Do we care? I He was neat. It's nice that he has his own agency, but like I don't know what that dude's up to, and I don't know if I care.
Didn't they free him via time travel and stuff?
He freed himself, and I don't know if they had traveled through time. They were attempting to travel through time, and I don't
Yeah.
know if. Well, no, they were still stuck in the portal, so they must have. Yeah, he must have gone through and traveled through time with them.
Yeah, maybe he went with them. Maybe they just found a past version of himself and gave him another key to his lock, his seal. Um, Honestly, the older Knights of Logos just refuse to give any exposition on this guy. So for the time being, I just don't give a crap. Like Best Buster obviously like knows something about him,
Yeah.
but who cares? Like who cares about their main jobs? They obviously don't.
Yeah. That's the thing. This show is making it harder for me to care.
I don't know. I watch it for me, and
Yeah,
maybe Rentro can come back and redeem himself.
hopefully.
Also, the fashion show, which is Thomas' wardrobe, it's growing on me now.
Oh no.
I love that flamboyant Amish look.
Alex is drinking the Kool-Aid. Let's dive into comments before it gets any worse.
Oh, May's hair is also amazing, especially at the end of 20.
Oh yeah,
That was
absolutely.
hilarious.
No, I agree. I agree. You're right. All right. So first comment comes from Rajik Rasul, and this one was on episode 19. He says, "Finally, to knock some sense in them. Hopefully, to slowly regain the trust in Toma. This is why we don't mess with veteran riders." Well. Next up, he then goes on to say, "Who is Tassel really? A guy is a happy guy, or what's behind that happy-go-lucky is a man who watched the world burn." I like this episode. Things are starting to get interesting. And who are the Master Logos? A group of world peace or hungry power people? I don't know. I don't. The questions they pose, it's getting really hard for them to make me care.
I
They
don't know.
haven't they haven't built enough goodwill, and I don't. I'm not invested in finding the corruption of the sort of logos,
Well,
because
you're gonna find out.
no, we are, but like, in terms of making me want to know, like in terms of getting me invested, like they haven't been able to do that. Okay. Last comment comes from Double the Unknown, who says, "These two episodes were honestly pretty good, at least for Saber standards, and they were both written by the head writer. I think what made these two episodes interesting is they actually showed why each swordsman trusted Reika. We all assumed Ren trusted Reika because of his
Oh,
infatuation with Kento, but this episode really allowed us to see just how far his obsession has been blinding his judgment. Rintaro wants to trust Toma, but the Sword of Logos raised him and are his family." I get that. I understand that. It's just we keep driving that home. Every time they meet up again, it feels like the same conversation.
you know what? If they feel like his family, like why don't they like show that?
Yeah,
Because I
he
think like the
only.
only one that was his family was probably his master, and then they just don't even they don't give a shit about that.
Well, like,
So like,
not just that, it was Espada, and he's gone now.
I mean, like he and Espada didn't really have like much of a bond, anyways. Like I don't know why like Renter was like so attached to him. We don't even see flashbacks to the past that would show like there was even something there. Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe you know he was just like off doing his own thing, and he was just kind of like sitting there in a room,
Right.
rolling around with a fucking sword until he learned how to swing it. So
But like, I understand, or like from a character standpoint, I get that he's loyal because that's all he knows and that's his family. But we haven't been able, like, we can't internalize it. They haven't showed us how he sees them as his family or what a family means to him outside of Espada, and like what the rest of these members of Logos mean to him. We barely get the relationship between them, and it makes his character suffer because it's hard to identify with where he's coming from. And like,
yeah,
once again, I understand the internal logic dictates that yes, he is loyal to them because he is raised by them, but we don't feel it.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Also, Kenzan's name is Ren.
Ren. Mm,
Yes.
okay. All right. Cool. Alex, do you have anything else before we got out of here?
No.
All right. Cool. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like the episode, hit the like button and subscribe if you want to hear more from us each week. Tell us in the comments down below what you thought about our thoughts about your thoughts about this episode. And also, while you're down there, there are links in the description to how you can help support the Black Lives Matter movement by donating money, signing petitions, and watching videos. Thank you so much for watching. Keep it.
Yep. See ya.
That wasn't too bad. I thought I would have a harder time remembering what happened. But it was a bunch of car stacking. Oh! I really like how Toma created the model in the center of the thing. Great